A very good morning to all of you, my dear students. This is Shafiq Ahmed, and you are all welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, Let's Learn Together. So, this is the fourth lesson on the chapter Nationalism in India. And in our previous lesson, we have studied about the tribal peasants and their problems and their demands and their protests during non-cooperation movement. Now our next topic is what we will have to know about the plantation workers. Who are those plantation workers? Those who were working in tea plantation area, or you can say sugar, not tea plantation area. Those who were working in tea or coffee plantation area. So these are the problems of those workers. What were the problems? Let us see why they started cooperating non-cooperation movement, that we will have to see. So what the Britishers have done, they implemented, or you can say make one law, that is Inland Immigration Act of 1859. This was an act created by the Britishers in the year 1859, and according to this act, plantation workers were not permitted to leave the tea gardens. They cannot leave the tea gardens without the permission of the owner or without the permission of the government. They cannot leave the tea gardens. And in fact, it is written that without permission, then if you will ask for the permission, then whether you will get the permission or not as a worker, let us see. And in fact, they were rarely given such permission. Means if they ever asked for the permission, then the permission used to be denied, not given. In rare case only they would get any permission to leave the tea garden and back to their home. Otherwise, if someone has come there for work, they will have to be there till their life. That was the problem with the plantation workers. What were their demands? Why they participated in non-cooperation movement? What were their demands? Let us see whether they want to get rid of the Britishers, or whether they want to get rid of this Inland Immigration Act of 1859. Let us see. For plantation workers in Assam, freedom meant the right to move freely in and out of the confined space in which they were enclosed or in which they were working. According to them, freedom was to go back to their home and then back to the working place. Means in and out. That's they wanted. The freedom, that is the meaning of freedom for them. They want to have their close connection with the villages or with the place where they used to live. They want to attend marriage functions, ceremonies, or they want to go to their field, to cut the crops, to harvest the crop, to sow the seeds. Means in time of festival they want to go there. In time of agriculture demand, they want to go to back to their home. That is the demand they were asking for. They were not asking, or they were not trying to get rid of the Britishers. They don't want the Britishers to leave the country. They just want to get rid of this Inland Immigration Act of 1859. So meaning of freedom was different for them. But according to Gandhiji, meaning of freedom, meaning of Swaraj was to get rid of the Britishers. See what they were demanded. They wanted to retain, means to keep up a link with their village from which they had come. That I discussed with you. Now, how did they protest? They, during non-cooperation movement, thousands of workers started disobeying the authorities, and they started leaving the plantation field and started to leave for their home. During this non-cooperation movement, when they heard that Gandhiji has started a movement, and that's why they also started to take participation in that movement. They started to leave their home, but that was not the actual reason. They didn't disobey the authorities for only participating in the non-cooperation movement. There was one more reason, and here is the reason. They believed that Gandhi Raj was coming. यानी वो लोग समझ रहे थे गांधी राज आ रहा है. and everyone would be given land in their own villages, and means, and Gandhiji will give land to all of them in their villages. So if they will be in the plantation field, then they would not get that particular land to be given by Gandhiji. They thought this such thing, that if we will be here, then we will miss the land. That's why they started leaving the plantation field and they started moving towards their villages. That was the original cause of why they protested, why they revolted against the Britishers or against the plantation owners. Let us see what happened. Have they reached to their home, to their villages, or not? Result of the protest by plantation workers. See, unfortunately, they were caught by the police on the way and they were brutally beaten up. Brutally, बेरहमी से उनको बहुत मारा गया. And they were caught by the police because there was some reason why they were caught by the police, because at the same time when they revolted, there was a railway and steamer strike in that area. That's why they started moving toward their home just by walking. Means they were not having any transport facility. That's why they were caught on the way before reaching to their home, and the police officials caught them, beaten them badly, and brought them to the plantation field once again. Now, what action Gandhiji took due to this incident, and one more incident that we are going to discuss with you. In February 1922, at Chauri Chaura. Now, Chauri Chaura is a place, a town in Gorakhpur district of Uttar Pradesh. So we are talking about the Gorakhpur district of Uttar Pradesh, and there is a town known as Chauri Chaura. If you want to reach there, you'll have to get down to the Gorakhpur junction, and from there it is just 30 kilometer or 31 kilometer. So you can reach there easily. That place, Chauri Chaura. Really, what happened at Chauri Chaura? Why the place or town Chauri Chaura is mentioned in history? Because there a peaceful demonstration in a bazaar was going on peacefully. People were protesting peacefully, but that changed into a violent clash with the police. Why? The police have started beating them up, asking them to stop the revolt, and the people again took to the physical force. They started fighting with the police, they clashed with the police, and a lot of people died on the spot. I can show you one image which is also given in your book also. Let us see that image also from Chauri Chaura. Here it is. You can see that, you can see the people are just died, and see they have fallen on the ground over here, even here on the bed. Here also you can see the people, their dead bodies are lying in Chauri Chaura. The police and the people who are demonstrating peacefully, they were attacked by the police, and they also attacked the police also. And due to this incident, a lot of people died there on the spot at Chauri Chaura incident. So you can see, we have all seen that what really happened at Chauri Chaura and how many people have died there also because of this revolt, because of this physical action. Gandhiji was hurt because his path was the path of non-violence, and he was really hurt because of this incident. He again thought that people need to be trained once again, that how to do protest by following the path of non-violence. He again took one decision, and that decision was that he put a full stop at the non-cooperation movement, because when he heard this, he was greatly hurt and he stopped this particular non-cooperation movement. So in your exam, you might be asked in your examination that give us the reason why Gandhiji put a full stop at the non-cooperation movement. So here are the few reasons that I'm going to discuss with you. Let us see. Reasons to withdraw NCM means what? Non-cooperation movement by Gandhiji in February 92. Why? So there were few reasons. That one reason we just discussed about Chauri Chaura. In that incident at Chauri Chaura, there was a violent clash between the police and the people. The people looted the bazaar, and 20 policemen were also killed. So Gandhiji was quite worried that if the policemen have been killed, then they are again going to take harsh action. The government will take harsh action and kill a lot of people to take revenge, for their policemen. So Gandhiji was quite worried. That's why he just called off the movement. Another reason you can write there, that Gandhiji felt that the satyagrahis need to be properly trained how to do protest by following the path of non-violence. So that's why one of the reason also Gandhiji was thinking that training is essential for them. And one more reason, some leaders within the Congress, they wanted to participate in elections. They don't wanted to do all these type of satyagraha, a non-cooperation movement, because they were quite tired of all these things, because the result was not in their hand. They were not getting success. That's why they wanted to participate in elections. So there was intense struggle within the Congress party, because members were divided. Some were against the NCM, some were in favor, some of them were in favor of the non-cooperation movement also, because they wanted to participate in election according to the Government of India Act 1919. So that was the third reason. Now we have, this is most important, this is the most important reason that forced Gandhi to stop non-cooperation movement. This fourth one, industrialists, it's industrial workers, they wanted to increase their wages. Plantation workers, they wanted to go back to their home and come back from their home to the workplace. That was the meaning of Swaraj for them. Peasants, they were also fighting for the struggle. They were also struggling to get the independence, but again, they turned their movement into violence. So everyone over here, industrialists, workers, and peasants, and different leaders also, like Alluri Sitaram Raju, what he declared, that India cannot get freedom until and unless they follow the path of violence. So people or leaders like this converted the movement into violent movement. That forced Gandhiji to call out this non-cooperation movement, because different social groups took the meaning of Swaraj in their own way. Means they were not understanding the meaning of getting Swaraj. Getting Swaraj, according to Gandhiji, was to get of the British government, not with the British policies, not with their British act, different act, Forest Act or Inland Immigration Act. Gandhiji was not looking to abolish those act or go against those act. Gandhiji was against the British government. But the people were just looking for their own lust, for their own desire, that if we will get this thing, then everything is okay. If we will be allowed to go back to our home, about to back to our home, and we will be allowed to come back also, then that is okay for our Swaraj. So that is the reason also that Gandhiji was forced to close this movement, put a full stop to this movement, because people were not united together, and everyone was looking to get their own interest. That is the fifth reason about Alluri Sitaram Raju that I discussed right now. That at many places, like many places at Andhra Pradesh and other places also, leaders like Alluri Sitaram Raju declared that India could be liberated, means get freedom only by the use of force. So that was also against the policy of Gandhiji. So that's why also Gandhiji put a full stop to this particular movement. So these are the 5 points which can fetch you 5 marks in your board exam also, or in your school level examinations also. Very important points are these. You can just remember and write the points in your examination to get a lot of marks. So let us move to our next Satyagraha, one more Satyagraha, that is known as Bardoli Satyagraha. It's very small one, but it is important one. It can be asked by board anytime because it is there in your syllabus. Bardoli Satyagraha in 1928. Vallabhbhai Patel, great hero at that time. He was the follower of Gandhiji. He led the peasant movement. Means again there is the peasants are involved, farmers are involved in Bardoli, which is a district in Gujarat, a taluka in Gujarat. What really happened there? Why was they were protesting? Why the people were there protesting? They were protesting against the enhancement, against the increase in the land revenue. Again, there was increase in the rent in the land, or you can say against there was increment in the lagan, in the land revenue. So people were fighting, and that was really a very successful satyagraha. Government was pushed down, and they have to understand and agree upon to the demands of the peasants of Bardoli, Gujarat. The movement was also known as Bardoli Satyagraha because it is related with the place known as Bardoli, which is a taluka in Gujarat, that is a district. The movement was a successful because the leader was quite able, was having the ability to lead, and the government agreed to reduce this land revenue. And that's why this particular movement was quite widely publicized, means it was written or published in the newspaper, magazines, journals, pamphlets, and from mouth to mouth it was just, it reached throughout India, and people generated a lot of sympathy in many parts of India because of this movement. They really felt that really Gandhiji has shown us the path which can lead us to success, which can lead us to get rid of the British government from India. So that was Bardoli Satyagraha, led by Vallabhbhai Patel in the year 1928. The movement was against the enhancement of the land revenue. The British government was forced to reduce the land revenue because of the protests by these Bardoli peasants. That is all from Bardoli Satyagraha. There are a few questions which can help you to make your notes. You can see there, you can take the screenshots and stop the video and take the screenshots, and you can solve the questions. Everything is available, no need to worry for anything. Next page, these are our more questions. So till now you have to answer these 31 questions, and your course and your notes will be completed. Let us move ahead to our next topic, that is we are going to move towards civil disobedience movement. Now what is this disobedience means? What civil means that local people is involved there. Disobedience means to disobey the law, to disobey the act of the government. That is, Gandhiji was moving towards another movement after non-cooperation movement. It started from Satyagraha movement, then they started non-cooperation Khilafat movement. Non-cooperation movement was gone, and now the new movement going to start, that is civil disobedience movement. Now let us see how they move toward this particular act, this movement. As we discussed that some leaders within the Congress were quite tired of mass struggles, and they wanted to participate in provincial elections or councils. You can say they wanted to be there in the members or in the team of the legislative councils, so that they can put their views also while making some new act or law. That's why many leaders were against the non-cooperation movement and future such movements. They wanted to oppose British policies. Those members who were against this type of movement, what they wanted to oppose, yani to go against. Oppose means to go against, to say or express your view against the British policies by staying within the councils. They were saying that if we will be there in within the councils as a member, then we can put our views, express our views, and force them to or convince them to make changes in the act. So they were saying that we can argue for improvement, and we can also express that this council were not truly like, but this council were not truly democratic. It was not a democratic council because the majority of the members were from the British sides. So that's why Gandhiji was against these council elections. But few of them were not understanding the words of Gandhiji, like C.R. Das and Moti Lal Nehru. Let me show you their images. C.R. Das and Motilal. Here is the man, C.R. Das. You can see his full name was Chitranjan Das, popularly called as Desh Bandhu also. He was also called by the name Desh Bandhu. That means friend of the nation. यानी देश का कौन है ये दोस्त. Bandhu means dost. Desh means nation. So he was called as Desh Bandhu. Was a leading Indian politician at that time. He was a lawyer also, very famous lawyer, and he was an activist of the Indian national movement, that non-cooperation movement and different movements. And he was the founder leader of the Swaraj party in Bengal. during the British government. That we will study later on in this slide only about the Swaraj Party. So that is all about the Chittaranjan Das. He was a lawyer and he was an active politician. His full name was Chittaranjan Das, also known as Deshbandhu. Hmm? And he was the founder leader of what? Swaraj Party. And here is the man, Motilal Nehru, the father of Jawaharlal Nehru. Motilal Nehru, he was also an Indian lawyer. He was also an activist of Indian independence movement. And even he was an important leader of the Indian National Congress as well as the Swaraj Party. He also served, Motilal Nehru also served the Congress as a president two times. He was the president of the Congress Party two times in his tenure, that is from 1919 to 1920 and 1928 to 1929. So that is the detail about Motilal Nehru. So C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, they together formed the Swaraj Party, that the party they formed in Bengal, so that they can return to council politics. Means they wanted to participate in the legislative councils. So that's why they formed Swaraj Party, which was within the Congress Party. Yeah? That is not a new one, but they named one more party under the umbrella of Congress Party, you can say. But on the other hand, younger leaders, Jawaharlal Nehru, the son of Motilal Nehru, and Subhash Chandra Bose, they were the young blood. They were having the young blood, younger leaders. They were so they were pressing for mass protest. Means they were saying that we will have to do mass protest and we will have to go for full independence. We don't have to go for the politics and we don't have to ask the government to leave. They were saying that we will have to force the government to leave. We will have to do mass protest. Mass protest means a large protest, and we will have to ask for the full independence. That is to get rid of the Britishers, ask the British government to leave our country. That is meaning of full independence. Means they were not asking to remove or invoke any particular act. They were asking for full independence from the Britishers. In such a situation, when the Congress Party was having intense debate within the council, within their members, in that situation, there were another factor which again shaped the politics, Indian politics towards 1920s. Two factors. There are two factors which changed the course of politics. What were those two factors? Let us see. Factor number one, the first was the effect. The first factor was the effect of the worldwide economic depression. Means at that same time, in the year between 26 and 30, there was economic depression throughout the world. Means the prices of the agriculture products began to fall, and peasants, means farmers, were facing difficulty to sell their harvest, as because the people at that time was facing financial position. The financial position of the workers or the people were not quite strong, so they were not able to buy the products, to buy the harvest. So farmers were facing difficulty to face this particular situation, that was the worldwide economic depression. And they were not able to pay the revenue to the government also. Means they were not able to pay the lagan to the government, because their demand for agriculture goods fell, and their exports also declined. Means they were not able to sell their agriculture products outside India also, because everywhere there was economic depression. And by 1930, you can see the countryside, means the village side, was in chaos. Means they were in trouble. They were not knowing what to do and what not to do. Means there was confusion everywhere. People were not in good mood, even not in good quiet health. They were facing difficulties. There were shortage of money because of this economic depression. That is the one factor which changed the mind of the people towards what? Towards protest against the Britishers. They were thinking that this is the government, this is the British government responsible for all these things, all this economic depression and all the protests they are doing for against this particular British government. And the second factor was the Simon Commission. Now, what is the Simon Commission? Actually, Britain constituted a legal commission, a legal committee, that is statutory means legal committee. They constituted a committee, they organized a committee of few members, and they made Sir John Simon the head of this particular committee. Now, what was the purpose for making this committee? Why they made this committee? What was the use? The commission was to look, is the committee, or the you can say the commission have to look into the functioning of the constitutional system in India, means how the constitutional system in India is working and what are the changes to be made. They came to India to suggest British government regarding the changes, because there was everywhere chaos and protest and revolt. That's why this committee was there, to suggest some changes to the government so that they can make some constitution changes, and changes in the constitution, bring some new act or laws to control the government in India, and to control the people in India. That's why that was the real reason for starting or constituting this particular Simon Commission in India. The problem with the commission was that all the members of the committee, this statutory committee, all the members of this committee were Britishers. There was not a single Indian member in that committee. They were all British. That was the reason for the worry of the Indians, because they were thinking that they are all British, they will not listen to any of us, they will not talk to us, and they might report something bad for them. That's why people were quite worried, and they were quite frightened, and that's why they suggested and they decided, the people of India at that time decided to oppose, means to start a protest against this Simon Commission also. And how did they do the protest? Let us see. Very unique way of protesting. They started the slogan by saying, they greeted the Simon Commission with this slogan, "Go back, Simon, go back, Simon." Like this, they started uh, raising the slogan when they arrived in India in the year 1928. How did they say the slogan? "Go back, Simon, go back, Simon," like this. All parties, see here, all parties, including the Congress, even the Muslim League party, they all started protesting in the demonstration. They all participated. Means now all the parties of India were together, were now united to ask for the Simon Commission to leave their country. Go back, Simon. And to stop this particular protest of Go back, Simon, the then Viceroy of India, means like the Governor of India, Lord Irwin was the governor, or you can say the Viceroy of India at that time. And he announced the Indians two different offer. He tried to give two different offer to the Indian in October 1929. Offer number one, that was a vague offer. Vague means was false offer. He was giving the offer saying that the Indians will get a dominion status, but in unspecified future. Dominion status means what? That the people of India will dominate over here in India. Means the British government will act, will follow, will take the decision according or after getting consultation from the Indians. Means the Indians will be put on the top. That was the offer given by Lord Irwin to the Indian members or the Indian politicians. And second, and even that dominant status, what they were saying that they will give, that was not specified that when they will give it. That was, they were saying that we will give you this dominion status in future. So let us see next offer. What was the second offer? They were also saying that we are ready to have a round table conference. Round table means they were all the Britishers and the Indian members will all sit together to discuss the new, or you can say the future constitution of India. So these two offer was given to the Indians by this Lord Irwin, the British government. But the Indian members, the Indian politicians, all the parties were not quite satisfied with the offer of Lord Irwin. They did not satisfy him. This offer did not satisfy the Congress leaders because they were knowing that this offer is a vague offer, false offer, because time is not specified in it when they will give. So they were not ready. And in December 1929, that is very important, under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru, remember the month and year, December 1929, and who was the president? Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of the Congress party, and they met at a place known as Lahore, which is right now in Pakistan, the capital. So they met at that place, and that session was known as Lahore Congress session. And in that Lahore Congress session, they declared, officially they declared, that they will go for Purna Swaraj, that is full independence for India. Means now they will not listen to the British officials, they will not listen to their offers, they will just ask them to leave our country, that is full independence, that is Purna Swaraj. And they decided to declare that on 26 January 1930 they will all meet together and celebrate Independence Day. And then on that day we will all take a pledge, and a kasam lenge, oath. We will take a pledge to struggle for what? Complete independence. But it could not attract a lot of attention of all the people. On 26th January 1930, they gathered together, they took the oath also, but there was not a huge gathering of the people. It could not attract a lot of attention of the people, but they declared that on 26th January 1930, they will take that particular oath to get India free from the Britishers. And it was decided in which Congress session? You will have to remember, Lahore Congress session in December 1929. They decided that they will start the movement to get the Britishers, to get freedom from the Britishers from all over India. Means they will ask the Britishers to get back to their country. So that is all in this tutorial. Those who are new in the channel, please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you can get the confirmation of my next video release of the next class. For the time being, stay safe, stay at home, and forward this link to your friends and relatives so that they can also learn this chapter in an easy way. That's all for the day. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.